Page 65, Blues for a Count. I guess another blues piece, I reckon. They're introducing you to the triplet. Oh, whoopsie, I thought you already had triplets. All right, let's talk triplets. Triplet means three, tri means three. You're simply playing three notes in the same amount of time you'd normally play two notes. So because you got to play an extra note, you got to play them a little quicker. There's different ways of counting them. Teachers teach different, you use whatever your teacher tells you to. I either go one and a, one and a, one and a, two and a, three and a, four. Hey, one and a, two and a, three and a, four and a, whatever it is. Or you could just use the word triplet. If you're not sure which number you beat, you're on to triplet, 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 triplet. And that's really all it is. These are eighth note triplets. So instead of two eighth notes, one and two and, we're doing triplets. One and a, two and a. That's it. Just understand any note can be part of a triplet. These are eighth notes. So let's look it over. It's about a page long. Treble and treble clef now. Both stanzas are treble clef. No sharps or flats in the key signatures, so it's either in C major or A minor. If we look at the end, we're here. It's a sort of a C chord, maybe a little. Do the scales in our pages for both C major and A minor. All right. 4/4 time signature, right hand first. Just notes. 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is fun. Measure 5, come up here. It's 4 chord. Now in the last line. Well, it's the pickup to the last line. The notes are here, but there's an 8V above it, so you got to come up here. And then there's an AC. The notes are here, but you got to come up here an octave higher if you have the notes. And if your keyboard doesn't go that high, you play the highest ones you got. And then that last measure, it's a G, an A, and a C, except it has a 15 MA. 15 MA is 2 octaves because 8 and 8 is 15 music. Doesn't that make sense? So instead of here, you go up 2 octaves. You're already there. You were there in the previous measure. Just stay there and just add the G to it. Yeah. Left hand. Here it's 4 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So much for the left hand. This go down to the bottom. It's the last beat in measure 16. Pick up to measure 17. The notes are here, but it has the 8 VA above the staff, the top staff, and it says both hands. Well, now you got to come up here. And the last line, you're up here, and then the third, it's what, measure 15? The note is here, but you got to come up here. 1, 2. And then the last one is an 8VB. Now, when they do this, it's absolute. It's not relative. So you're not going to go down an octave from where you're at. That would be relative to where you're at. No, it's absolute. The notes, see, you gave you bass clef. The notes are here. Here. Well, it's absolute. It's octave below that. You're down here. So you're actually ending that on the extremes of the keyboard, sort of. If you don't have notes that low, your keyboard isn't that long, play the lowest note you have, the lowest A, and that'll have to do. So then we put the hands together. Well, for the most part, it shouldn't be a problem because it's one hand or the other playing. Is 1, 2, and 3, and 4. It's the last line or so. Pick up to measure 17. The notes are here, but you got to come up here. Both hands are up here. 3, 4, but up here, 2, and the right hand stays right there. The left hand's got to come all the way down here. Anyway, once you get the hands together, then I'll go back over slowly the hard parts and get rid of any hesitations. It would be handy if you can get to where you can make some of these moves without looking at the keyboard. For instance, when you go here, going to measure 5, can you come up? Can you make this move without looking? Can you feel this going up a 4th without looking? Here. And then in measure 7, go back down. Can you feel that without looking? In measure 9, you might have to look. Otherwise, maybe you can feel going up a 5th up here. Down 1, down a 4th. Eventually, you want to be able to feel that, and you will. Even if you don't work on it, eventually you will feel it. It's just nice if you can do that sort of thing. Same thing in the left hand. You're here to start, but then on measure 4, you're up here. You just went up a 4th. Eventually, you'd like to be able to do that without looking at the keyboard. Now, when you have to go up a long way, you're going up an octave, you got to look here, or up another octave, or down 100 octaves, or whatever it is. You got to look for that. Okay. No hesitation. So, okay. Then the articulation. Flexing wrist, short staccato. Connect this, connect that together. So forth, and that's basically the articulation. They put accents on some of these, like at the bottom, play them a little louder. Then the dynamics. Both hands, mezzo forte is sort of loud. Now, pick up to measure 9, they want that one loud. And then pick up to measure 15 or 13, now you come back like you were at the beginning, sort of loud. Of course, that makes the accent in those very loud. Now we're soft. And then loud again at the end. If I can hit it, whichever. I need wider keys. Anyway, that's the dynamics. And then the speed, just moving along as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Think of the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So it's go up to here. Feel the natural accents all the way through here. Something like that, I think. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. Not doing the dynamics, we're not performing it, we're just doing notes and rhythms. Very slowly, I'll give us 3 counts because we come in on beat 4. 1, ready, and go, and 1, 2, rest. 1, 2, rest. Rest. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3.